It's that time of year as we race to the year end, trying to hit all our targets, trying to get all our Christmas preparation done with a little eye on next year and the possibility of what could be. During this period, before the end of the year, I would like you to give yourself the gift of 30 minutes. 30 minutes to reflect on your leadership journey so far and what could be in 2024. And to help you do that, I'm going to share with you coaching questions which you can answer. There's several ways of doing this. You can watch this video and take notes. You can start and stop this video as you go along, and I can coach you as we go. Or alternatively, there'll be a link down below where you can get hold of all the questions I'm going to share. Okay, one of the things I recommend before you start is to find a quiet space where you're alone, and it's here. I would use a notebook. I think reflection works well when you write with your hand rather than an electronic device. Writing is a little bit slower, and there's lots of studies that say you're more likely to remember what you have written. I just think it's a really useful exercise. The other benefits of a notebook like this is that you can keep all your personal development thoughts and plans in the same place. It keeps it focused, and I find a lot of my clients like doing that. I personally love it and find it really useful. Okay, so you're in a quiet spot, you've got a coffee, and you are ready to reflect on the year and what could be next year. The starting point for any coaching conversation is to set the goal. And with leadership, it pays to create a very clear vision for where you want to get to, what you want to be doing, what will you have achieved, what will it feel like, and what will others be saying about you. So first off, spend a few minutes bringing that to life. Be specific and make it real to your life. Avoid saying things like get better at. Work on saying what would be the outcome? What will you be as a leader in 1 year's time? Okay. Once that is done, we've got to think about if that's where you want to get to, where are you right now? And what you need to do is explore your reality. Bearing that in mind, what have you achieved this year that makes you well placed to be there in another year's time? What have you got to celebrate about what you have already achieved as a leader? Where have you had the most impact and why? Where do you get your energy as a leader? What do you love doing? And know that when you're doing it, you're at your best, you get energy from it. Sometimes you can be doing something well, but actually it drains your energy. It's something you don't like doing. What are those areas that you know you do well and you get a lot of energy from? Because you want to be doing more of that in the coming year. What have you learned this year? And how will that help you achieve your goal? Now, at this point, you should sit back and celebrate because you will already have made a lot of progress on your journey to becoming the leader that you want to be. And I think we sometimes forget to do that, to celebrate our own successes. It's important because it builds confidence. So take note, what are you really proud of here? And look how far you've already got, the things you've already achieved, and take confidence from that. But if you want to achieve your vision for next year, what are the things that might be holding you back? What are the skills that you think you will need to be better at in order to be that leader, to be able to do those things that you described? Where do you spend most of your time? And is that time being spent on the high value activities that's going to help you get there? Or is it maybe being spent on other activities and things that you know you shouldn't get caught up in, but sometimes do? So where are you spending your time? How confident do you feel right now about achieving that vision for where you want to be? And if you're not feeling confident, why is that? What are the things that are missing? What are the things that would help you achieve that vision? Who are the people around you that you already see being where you want to be, and why? What is it that they're doing that you think that you might need to work on or develop in order to get there? Who are the people who help you right now and will help you next year achieve this goal? And how do they help you? And are there any gaps where you might need more support? At this point, I want you to review what you have written. Are there any common themes? And what are the most important strengths that you could leverage more to achieve that goal? And what are the most significant things holding you back that you will need to address? So you now know where you want to go and you know where you are right now. The next question is to explore what options you have that would help you get there. So the first question to ask is, what options do you have that would help you get there? And write that down. And then I want you to answer the question, what other options do you have? One of the things you often find is that people narrow down their thinking when they're coming up with a development plan. And one of the strengths is to explore at this stage the different options that may be ahead of you that you could do in order to get you to achieve your vision and your goals. And when you're thinking about those options, which of those would give you the greatest impact? And which of those scare you quite a bit? Okay, because that's going to be about mindset and confidence and getting support. So it's easy to say, oh, I'm not ready for that yet, or to move backwards. And what I want you to do is embrace some of those more scary places and think, how can I work my way through that? I want you to come back to who could help you achieve this goal. Were there any gaps in your network that you will need to perhaps plug in order to find people who will help you? People love helping people, but quite often we're just so busy, we just forget to ask and we forget to reach out for that support. It will be fundamental in helping you build the skills and the confidence to achieve this full vision. Now, as you get clear on your options, I want you to think about how much time will you need in order to achieve this goal? And how could you make sure that you have that time? Remember, time is finite. So it isn't an issue of time per se, it's an issue of choices and prioritization. And I would always encourage you to spend time on your own personal development. The key to improving leadership skills is little and often. But in order to do that, you need to have a clear plan of what it is you're trying to achieve. And that makes it much easier to see the many micro practice moments or experimentation moments that are actually ahead of you in the coming year. But you will need a system or a plan that will keep you on track. So think about your time and think about what you will need to change that would make you more likely to achieve those goals at the end. You've now explored the different options that you have ahead of you that will help you achieve that leadership goal. Now it's time for the rubber to hit the road and turn this into a plan. The first question is, what are the specific steps you're going to need to put in place to make sure that it happens, that you achieve that vision? When do you need to do those things by? Who's going to help you? And how are you going to keep yourself on track? As you look at your plan, what are the tasks and activities you are going to have to do in the first quarter of next year in order to achieve that plan? Turn your broad objectives into a specific quarterly objective. The more you bring it down into more tangible plans, the more likely you are to gain the traction. And even as you look at that quarter, what are the things you will need to put in place at the beginning of the year in January to make this plan a reality? You should now have a nice, clear plan that looks at your annual goals and personal development objectives and breaks it down into giving clarity to the first quarter and indeed January. So now is a good time to ask the question, if you got to the end of next year and you had not achieved it, why? What do you think will be the things that will have knocked you off course? And I want you to look back at that plan and answer the question, if that's going to knock me off course, what do I need to do and make sure that it's in this plan that will help me make that not happen? We don't want these negative things that can knock us off course to knock us off course. You need to put yourself in the best place possible so that achieving that plan is more likely than not. You really set yourself up for success. So now over this 30 minutes, you have set yourself a leadership vision and goal for the next year. You have thought about the things that might hold you back and the things that you have that will really help you. You have explored the options you have and refined that down and prioritized it into a specific plan and recognized your derailers and put your stop the derailing plan in place. So there's one more thing to do. If you've written lots of notes and it's a bit all over the place at this point and kind of in your head, what I want you to do is write it down so it is super clear what your personal development objectives are for the coming year and when you're going to do them so that you can keep returning to it. The clarity is the rocket fuel in your personal development. The more clear you can be, the more likely it is that you're going to achieve your personal development goals, which is what we all want. So let me know in the comments what you've learned from this exercise and where you need help, because I could always make a video for you to help you develop a particular skill or area that you're trying to get better at that will accelerate your own leadership journey. If you've got any questions on this, again, put them in the comments. I'm around to answer them. There's a video that follows this one that is all about how you nail your personal development plan. So the process of nailing your personal development plan. And that will complement the plan that you have developed. So that may be a good place to go next. If you found this video useful, please like, subscribe, and ring the bell. It helps other people find this channel. And if you've already subscribed, I thank you so much for that. We're making progress. More people are joining this community. And A, that makes me happy, but B, it means that people are finding this channel of value. And that is what it's all about. Okay, until next time, take care.